Now, it's time to talk about Leonardo, who was fascinated by light. In the early 90s, I was invited to speak for the Young Presidents Organization in Washington, D.C. This is a group of company presidents. They're all under age 50. They run big companies. And I was speaking to them about creativity and innovation. But I knew that they were holding one of their premier events in Florence, which is my favorite city. And I really wanted to get invited. So I imagined a scenario. I imagined that the chair of the Florence Education Committee might approach me after I finished my talk and might ask me something along the lines of, if we were to invite you to Florence, what would you do? And I figured he'd probably say something like, it better be something really special because everybody wants to go to Florence. Well, you ever have anything happen like that where you picture a scenario and it happens exactly as you imagined it? I finished my talk in D.C. on creativity and innovation. Gentleman approaches me, says, I'm the education chair for Florence. If we were to invite you to Florence, what would you do? It would have to be something really special because everybody wants to go to Florence. Well, I looked him right in the eye and I said, how about how to think like Leonardo DaVinci? And he said, can you really do that? And I said, sure. This is what we call the chutzpah principle of intelligence. I had 6 months to make it up. But this is perfect because it was a chance to immerse myself in my childhood hero. So I went to the place where Leonardo was born. And I went to the place where he died. And I literally walked his footsteps and aimed to look at the world from his point of view. I traveled to the great museums in the world where I could witness his works, and I contemplated them. I read his notebooks over and over again. I read the scholarly works about him. I started dreaming about him, and from those dreams, 7 principles emerged. But the truth is, I tried to find an 8th principle and couldn't be done. I tried to consolidate down to 6. There are 7 principles for thinking like Leonardo da Vinci, irreducible and complete. Scholars criticize Leonardo because in his journals, he would sometimes go from one subject to another, from the refraction of light to the flight of a bird to the flow of water. And then on the same page, he would write down a funny story that he heard. He'd even put a shopping list, definitions of vocabulary words. And the scholars said, this guy's so disorganized. How come there's no table of contents? Where's the index? Because what you're looking at is a mind that's completely free, that can move from one subject to another and make connections that no one had ever made before. Now, where are you physically located when you get your best ideas? Where are you actually physically located? How many people in the shower or the bath? How about driving in your car? Out in nature? 4 o'clock in the morning when you wake up? Well, these are the most common answers to people all over the world. They don't get them in the office. What's happening at 4 o'clock in the morning or driving your car in the shower that tends not to happen when you're doing what you call work? You're thinking like Leonardo da Vinci. You're relaxed. Your mind is free. You're out of the box. What is the box? It's linear thinking. The 4th principle for thinking like Leonardo, this one we say quietly, almost in a whisper, with a tiny little gesture. The 4th principle is sfumato. It means, the technical translation is going up in smoke. And what sfumato represents is one of the most distinguishing characteristics of highly creative people, which is their openness to uncertainty, their willingness to embrace the unknown. Any great achievement requires the ability to embrace the unknown. And to maintain perspective. A Mona Lisa smile. How does it make you feel when you smile like Mona Lisa? Well, I was working with a group of gifted children ages 8 to 11. And I showed them the picture of the Mona Lisa and I said, what is she smiling about? And without my asking them to do so, they started imitating her smile. Because they have curiosità. Dimostrazione, they want to figure it out for themselves through their own experience. Sensazione, they want to feel it with their actual senses. And sfumato, they're not afraid of the unknown. So one of the kids says, she's got a secret. And another kid says, yeah, she knows that everything has an opposite. And then the kids start saying opposites like day and night, good and bad, boys and girls, life and death. I asked my average corporate group, I say, what is she smiling about? A while ago, this management society person stood up and said, I read in the Wall Street Journal that the famous smile was caused by a dental problem. The kids got it right. The seventh principle is connessione. Leonardo said everything connects to everything else. Everything connects to everything else. So look at this painting. He did this when he was in his 20s. He was criticized by the art historians for leaving it unfinished. But I think they didn't understand what he was really trying to do in this painting, which was to sum up all valuable human knowledge in one painting. If you understand what his intention was, maybe we can give him a break for leaving it unfinished. I promised to show you a mind map, and here's a mind map of what we've just covered about Leonardo. What's my image in the center? It's a parachute, right? Why? Because Leonardo invented it and it represents innovation. Who's the figure in the circle? It's the canon of proportion figure representing our potential. So a mind map starts with an image in the center, waking up the right hemisphere and making it part of your thinking, planning, or problem solving. This is a simple, practical thing that you can take away to learn to think like Leonardo da Vinci yourself. I learned how to juggle many years ago. I saw someone doing it and I thought it was incredibly beautiful. Looked to me like moving sculpture. So I went up to this great juggler and I asked him to teach me. But it turned out he was not as good a teacher as he was a juggler, because you know what he told me? He said, take these 3 balls, throw them up, don't let any of them drop. You ever get an instruction like that in the course of your career? Well, I tried really hard and the balls were dropping over and over again. I would have given up, but I really wanted to learn. And then I had an enlightenment experience. I realized that if I could discover curiosità, be more like a child, more playful, it would be much easier. Dimostrazione was clear. I had to figure it out for myself. Sensazione. I started to feel the rhythm, enjoy the color. Sfumato. I realized that learning anything was a journey into the unknown. Arte, scienza, and corporalità were all about balance. And that's when I had the enlightenment. Connessione. Everything connects to everything else. If you meditate on this pattern, what is it? Infinity. It represents your infinite potential. The art critic Bernard Berenson said of Leonardo da Vinci that everything he touched turned to eternal beauty. My wish for you is you'll take these principles and bring a touch of that beauty to your life every single day. Grazie mille. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Grazie mille. Thank you. Thank you very much. Michael Gelb. Michael Gelb.